For this week's video, I'm in a bit of a rush. I'm heading to Arizona and I'm going to learn from Royce herself and Jane from Jane Belante Art. And they're teaching us some new techniques for decoupaging and journaling and all kinds of fun stuff. I don't know what she has in store for us, but I am ready to learn. And hopefully everything that I learn, I can retain and bring back to share with you. That is what I love to do. I love to share with you. I love to teach what I can, and I hope that you enjoy that as well. This video is a little bit more simple. I used the Peony laser cut shape that I received from Natalie at Sparks of Joy Vintage, and it's so good. It worked so well. Everything is there for you. So head on over to Natalie's website. I'll put a description below, and you can head on over there and pick up your own peonies because it was a fun project. I really enjoyed it. I will see you at the end. Tell me what you like.
We're going to get started with this peony that I got from Natalie at Sparks of Joy Studio. She has a YouTube channel. She shares many projects on there as well. This is laser cut and it does have the designs in there for you. I use Cowgirl Coral, Petticoat Pink, Weathered Wood, and a little Painterly in Love Language. I started by mixing the Weathered Wood and the Cowgirl Coral together along with a little Painterly. I wanted a dark shadow color for the peony, and I didn't want black, I didn't want brown, I wanted just a dark color, pinkish color, purplish color. So I've been inspired by the peony. My mom, when I first moved into this house, my mom seen all the pink and white peonies that were growing here, and I was going to mow them over with a lawnmower, and she came over and dug up every single one of them. I'll finish telling you the story in the rest of this video. So I just started to go with the shapes that were there and add the dark shadows, lightening it up with the Cowgirl Coral and the Petticoat Pink, and left the dark shadows at where the edges were that Natalie had put in for you. If you follow the lines on this peony, you will end up with petals, I promise. Just keep the highlights to the top and the shadows to the bottom. And I went in with some of this Cowgirl Coral and the Weathered Wood, which turned it kind of purplish. I wasn't really looking for purple. I was looking for more of the pink and white. So this is basically just a base coat. I was just getting color on here, starting to find out where the peony shapes and petals were, and just laying down some paint. Don't worry, if it's the wrong color, you can paint right over the top of it. You can blend it. You can let it dry. You can paint over it. You can add those shadows in after. You can add the highlights on the top. Whatever process works for you. So we're going to just continue to paint around this peony. I did speed up some of this video so that it wasn't quite so long, but it is a short video. And since I was traveling, I hope that you would enjoy this. Now back to the story about my mom taking all of the peonies off of this property that I live on now. She took them all, she buried them into the ground at her home, at the home I grew up in, and she passed away when I was pretty young. And I didn't really get to know my mom. I didn't get to know her love for flower gardens, and now I have it. Even though I didn't learn it from her, I obviously did when I was young because I am all about the flowers. And peonies, I finally told my sister, I think I could have peonies in my yard because I think I kind of like them now. I didn't like them before. And she said, I'll bring you one. So she brought me one. The next year that peony bloomed, and you're never going to guess what, guys, but it was a white and pink peony. So I asked my sister, where did you get that peony from that you gave me? And she said, oh, Mom dug it up out of her yard and gave it to me. Guys, that's the same peony that came out of this yard many years before that. Isn't that just amazing? My mom was gone already at that time, so it was like a little peek of my mom coming back to let me know that she was fine, and she knew someday I'd like those peonies, so she saved them for me. Isn't that just sweet? I do have another part of that peony story that I will continue to tell you.
Soul searching, fall apart, tunnel vision, hiding in the dark. Well, I ain't gonna holler before I really bleed. Salvation or quick fix remedy. You said I never could change. I thought I never could change. They said
My peony is getting more of that pink look that I like. I'm trying to lighten it up because the peonies that I have in my yard are the old-fashioned peonies with the pink and white. They're basically more lightish pink and white than they are the dark pink. However, they do have the dark shadowed centers or bottoms of the petals, which gives them a lot of shape and a lot of texture. But to keep this all just like flowing together, I had to continue to use that peachy color, that cowgirl coral color, so that everything would still continue to blend. Even though that's under the painting, whatever is color is underneath your painting is still going to come through in the tone of your painting. So if you didn't like something, you're still going to have to continue on and use that undertone color, that's what I did. Now back to my story. So one day I was at work and it was the anniversary of my mom's passing. It was June 29th and I had an audit. So I was late getting out of work. My car was sitting in the parking lot all by itself. Everyone else had gone home for the night. And I come out to my car and I get in, and there is a pink and white peony attached to my windshield wiper. And all I could do was sit there and stare at it, tears in my eyes, wondering, where did that peony come from? It's June 29th. Peonies have been done for a long time. They're no longer blooming. How did I get a white and pink peony on my windshield wiper? And who put it there? I'll let you know in a few minutes.
leave the light on. Leave the light on. Just leave the light on. Yeah, leave the light on. If I'll ever change.
I'm going in bold with some brighter pink because this is the front of the peony, which is going to be what your eye sees first and what lights up by the sun. So I'm heading in with the darker pink. However, I do have to mute it down to match that back side of the peony and give it that white and pink look. So it's just all in an experiment, and Natalie has done all the work for us, putting in all of those lines. It was such a fun process. I hope you head over to Natalie's and pick up one of these peonies for yourself because it was super fun to paint. Now back to my story. So it was years later that I learned where that peony came from. It was a gentleman at work that my husband works with, and he was taking his dried up peonies, his spent blossoms, and dumping them in the compost. And the compost for the city was right down the street from where I worked. As he dumped his peony scraps into the compost, out tumbled this perfect pink and white peony. And he picked it out of the compost. He put it in his truck, and as he was driving down the road, he seen my car in the parking lot and thought, I think Connie might want that peony. So he's turned around, pulled back into the parking lot, and attached that peony to my windshield wiper. He had no clue it was the anniversary of my mom's death. There she is again, giving me one more sign. I took the DIY Big Top and I applied it to the peony to bring out those colors and see what we have. I really, really do like this peony, and it is so fun. I thoroughly enjoyed this entire process, and I hope that you enjoyed watching it as well. You can tell that some of those petals are flipped up in the sunshine. That's all from the underneath side of the guidelines that Natalie has given while cutting out this board. I needed to put this onto a nice background, and so I found an old board that I sanded down. They were like barnwood boards, and I gave them some DIY dark wax just to give it a nice clean finish and make that background as dark as I could so that the light white and pink peony would steal the show.
Been dreaming of Nashville, Tennessee, while the cold here in Sweden got the best of me. Well, haven't I got better shit to think about than that shit? Like deadlines, rents due, bills pile up, family day in, day out, the clock's mocking me, getting old, oh god, the kids deserve so much more than this, gotta get rich. You said I never could change, I thought I never could change, they said I never could change, damn right I never would. Leave the light on, oh. Leave the light on, oh. Leave the light on, oh. Just leave the light on, oh. If I never change, if I never change.
I thought I'd give you a little staging of how I stage for the photographs. Here I put the peony painting down. I had this pink string. I was going to tie it back up or wind it back up, but the heck with it. I just laid it out from one side of the image to the other, added different pink strings to match that peony. Here's some spools of thread. This one is the grayish, darkish color that kind of matches the shadows. These little pink ones match as well. I added them to the left side there. Now I added a little bird on top of the spool of thread. I really did like how that thread just kind of spilled out across the surface. And then I added a scissors because of course you would have a scissors to cut your peony or to cut the string. And there's the first image. Now we're going to go with a second image. I wanted it to be not quite so pink, so I added these dark vintage books. I added some clay terracotta flower pots. They need to be raised up higher, so I stuck in a few items just so those pots would stick out. And then I had these brown insulators that gave it that nice dark look to match that background of the image. And of course, here I am with my bird again. He needs to be in here somewhere. And I just keep moving things around until I actually like the composition of the image. I hope that you enjoyed this, and I will see you again next Monday for a look inside what happened at the Roycycled retreat.
She's got a hold on me. She knows how to drive a truck, but she lets me pick her up when we're going dancing. My heart stops beating when my headlights shining on her. She's my country girl. I couldn't tell you what she's doing with me. She's so damn out of my league. She's a little bit crazy on the weekends, dancing in her red dress, and I love the way she looks in my eyes. And I'm feeling like midnight's getting closer, and I just wanna hold her in my arms till the sun comes up. She's a little bit country. Yeah, she's my country girl. She's a little bit country. Yeah, she's my country girl. She can let her hair down, but got her feet on the ground. I can't get enough of her. She can drive me so wild, just with that sweet smiling. There's nobody else for me. My heart starts racing every time I'm looking at her. She's my country girl. I couldn't tell you what she's doing to me. She's so damn out of my league. She's a little bit crazy on the weekends, dancing in her red dress, and I love the way she looks in my eyes.
What do you think?
And I'm feeling like
You like it? It is very cool. Very cool. Even for someone who can paint, it is very cool. It was a nice process that I did. It was fun. It sparked more creativity, which is in Natalie's name, Sparks of Joy. So head on over there. Check out her YouTube channel. She's always sharing some great projects. And she's a really good friend. I really do appreciate her. It was from a fun box that she sent me, and it was fun to open that box and see what treasures I could pull out. If you would like any DIY products, you can head on over to my website at thepaintedphotographer.com and I'll ship them right to your front door. If you're local, head on over to Foreman's Farm Home in Medford, Wisconsin, and I have my DIY and IOD products there for you. Thanks for watching. And until next time, happy painting.